Let's take a look at the weight questions. These are a mixture of calculator and non-calculator. I'll let you know which ones you're allowed to use the calculator for. So question 1, we need to convert grams into kilos. So we need to remember that 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So when you're converting kilos into grams, you're multiplying by 1,000. And if you're converting grams into kilos, you are dividing by 1,000. So here we're going grams into kilos, so we need to divide by 1,000. And an easy way to divide by 1,000 when there are 3 zeros on the end is just knock off 3 zeros. So 2,000 divided by 1,000 is 2, 1,000 divided by 1,000 is 1. Now 300 divided by 1,000 is a bit harder, so what I would suggest doing perhaps if you're struggling with this is to write it as 300.0. When you're dividing by 1,000, you're going to move the decimal point 3 positions, and you're going to move it 3 positions to the left to make the number smaller. Now it might be easier if you put in a few extra zeros so that the decimal point is somewhere obvious where it can slot in. So 1, 2, 3. So the answer here is 0.3000. Now hopefully you can appreciate that this first 0 here doesn't need to be there, and the zeros after the 3 don't need to be there either. So that is 0.3 kilos. So 800 is going to be 0.8, 390 is going to be 0.39, and 2,620, 2620.0, move the decimal point 1 to 3 positions, so that's going to be 2.62. 4 grams, I'm going to write that as 4.0. I need to divide this by 1,000, and again that's going to be tricky unless I stick some zeros in front of the 4, and I'm going to move the decimal point 1 to 3 positions as usual, so the answer is 0.004 kilos. 38 grams is 38.0 grams, again put some zeros in front, 1, 2, 3, so the answer is 0.038. 21119 is 21119.0, now move the decimal point 1 to 3 positions, so that's 21.119. 616 is 616.0. This will need a few zeros in front so we can move the decimal point a bit more easily. 1, 2, 3. So 0.616 kilos. Kilos into grams. So here we are going to be multiplying by 1,000. 1 kilo is 1,000 grams. So to go from kilos to the gram number, we are multiplying by 1,000. So 3 times 1,000 is 3. with 3 zeros on it. 8 times 1,000 is 8 with 3 zeros on it. 1.4 is, well, a bit harder this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 1.4. I'm going to put quite a few zeros on the end. Now when you're multiplying by 1,000, we're going to move the decimal point 3 positions to the right to make the number bigger. So 1, 2, 3. If I hadn't added those extra zeros, it might not have been obvious what our final number is going to be. So our answer is going to be 1400.00, and obviously the zeros after the decimal point are fairly pointless. So the answer is 1,400 grams. 2.21 kilos is 2.21 with some zeros. Move the decimal point 1 to 3 positions, so that's 2210. 0.986, again put some zeros on the end just to make the moving of the decimal point easy. 1, 2, 3. So 986.000, in other words 986 grams. 0.024, again just put a few zeros on the end so that you can move the decimal point 3 positions, so that's 24 grams. 3.981, decimal point is moving 1, 2, 3 because we're multiplying by 1,000, so that's 3,981. 26.2 is 26.2 with several zeros, so move the decimal point 3 positions and we get 26200. 311 is a whole number, so to multiply that by 1,000 just stick 3 zeros on the end, and this last one might be a bit problematic. So again 1, 2, 3, so it's going to go just after the 2, so 2.0, in other words 2. Okay, in question number 3, Heike is being weighed for her upcoming boxing tournament, and there are various categories, so she's hoping to be in the middleweight category here. So write down a weight that is in this category. So you can write literally any number between 71 and 110, so why not go for 85? Question 3b. Hiker weighs 72 kilos. Is she in the middleweight category? Well, 72 is between 71 and 110, so yes, because 72 is greater than 71 and less than 110. Okay, so people only fight if they're in the same weight category. So Hiker is in the middleweight category, so who can she fight? Who is between 71 and 110? Not Sarah, she's too light. Tammy, too heavy. She could fight Helena, as 84 is between 71 and 110. Samira, far too light, and she can also fight Emily as well. So we're told that a supermarket sells flour in different quantities: 1,000, 500, 750 and 2,000. So if Claire needs 600 grams, then she can buy bag A, she'll have plenty left over. She can't buy bag B because that's not enough, but she can also buy C and D, so she can buy all of them with the exception of B. The supermarket launches a discount on bags which are over 800, so the ones that are over 800 are A and D. They're the only two that have got a mass of more than 800 grams, so A and D. Colin is making double the amount of cake that Claire makes, so Claire needs 600, so Colin is 1,200 grams. Oh, we're told that anyway, I should have read ahead. So which bags can he buy? The only bag he can buy is bag D, because all the others don't have enough capacity for him. So in this question we're told that there's a bridge that has a maximum weight of 3,000 kilos, so therefore Jane can't buy a car that weighs more than 3,000 kilos. So she can buy this car here, she can buy this one, and she can buy the Volvo XS as well, but she can't buy the Volvo XL or the Fiat 501. So in fact, let's just refer to these as letters so that I don't have to embarrass myself with the pronunciations of these cars. So A, B and C. Jane wishes to buy a car that weighs more than 2,000 kilos. So which vehicles are these? So A is over 2,000, B is over 2,000, C is not over 2,000, and she can also buy D and E. She's told that vehicles weighing more than 2,500 are very polluting, so she wants to buy one that is less than 2,500. So she's not going to buy A, but she could buy B because that's less than 2,500. She could buy C, D is too heavy, and E is too heavy. So Jane says only one vehicle meets all of her requirements. Is she correct? Yet the only one that meets the requirements is vehicle B, which is the Renove Scono. Question number 6. Again, this is still no calculator. We haven't been able to use a calculator at all yet. So we want to put these in lightest to heaviest. So what's the smallest number? Well, B. 3 is less than 4 and 6. 4 is less than 6, so A next, then C. A discount is applied on weights under 5 ounces. So which of these are under 5 ounces? That's A and B. Really easy question. So for question 7 we are able to use a calculator if we need to. A, fairly easy, you can do that in your head. 300 plus 200 is 500 grams. 250 plus 550 is 800 grams. 2 plus 5, again, you probably don't need a calculator for that, 7 kilos. And finally, 1024 plus 2998, fair enough if you use a calculator for that one, 4,022 grams. 2.1 plus 9.4, that comes to 11.5 kilos. 0.988 plus 0.221 comes to 1.209 kilos. 160 plus 24 is 184 grams. 0.028 plus 0.009 comes to 0.037 kilos. If you add those together, you should get 53255 grams. And finally, if you add those together, it's 69.63 kilos. Just watch out for, are there any ones where the units are different? Well, they were all the same, so nothing to worry about there. Question 8, this is also a calculator question. So the combined weight of the bread, butter and cheese. So bread, butter, cheese, 400 plus 150 plus 175 comes to 725 grams. Butter, ham and chocolate bar. So butter, ham and chocolate bar, that's 150 plus 100 plus 65. That comes to a total of 315 grams. What is the total weight of Carlos's shopping? Well, all we need to do is simply type all of these numbers into our calculator and we should get 1,458 grams. And for D, Carlos plans to eat the chocolate bar on his way home. He packs everything else into a carrier bag. The carrier bag can hold 1,500 grams without breaking. Will it break? Well, it's not going to break anyway because it's only got 1,458 grams in it, so whether or not he eats the chocolate bar is not going to make any difference. So will it break? No, it will not break. Question 9 is back to a non-calculator again. So after day 1 he's removed 500 grams, so if it was 2,000 at the start and he removes 500 grams, 2,000 minus 500 is 1,500 grams. After days 2, 3 and 4 it would have been 1,500 minus 220. So I would probably do 1,500 minus 200 is 1,300. 1,300 minus 20 is 1,280. Day 3, we're going to subtract 350 from that. Maybe it's easier if we use a column method. 8 minus 5 is 3. Let's just do 12 minus 3 is 9. So that's 930. And then we're going to subtract 90 from that. So I'm going to subtract 100 and add 10. That's another way to subtract 90. So I'm going to take away 100, which is too much, so that's 830, and then I'm going to add the 10 back on, so that should be 840 grams. After 5 days the sculpture is finished and it weighs 500, so between 4 and 5 it's gone from 840 down to 500 grams. So what's the difference between these two values? That's a difference of 340 grams. Just count up from 500 to 800, that's 300. 800 to 840 is 40, 300 plus 40 is 340. So for question 10 onwards we're able to use a calculator for everything. So first of all, before I tackle the questions, just to speed up the explanation, I'm going to work out the total weight of A, B, C and D. So A is 500 times by 3, which is 1,500. B is 8 times 1,600, and that comes to a total of 12800. C is 25 times by 100, which is 2,500, and D is 2 times by 5,000, which is 10,000. So what's the total weight of Thomas's type A pots? 1,500. Type B and type D is these two figures added together, so that comes to 22800. The total weight of all of his pot plants is all of these numbers added together. Again, you've allowed to use a calculator, so that's nice and easy. 26,800. What's the difference between the weight of B and C? Well, that's 12,800. Take away 2,500, so that is 10,300 grams. What's heavier, A and D combined? Well, if I add A and D, I get 11,500. And for B and C, that's 12,800 plus 2,500, which is 15,300. So B and C combined is heavier than A and D. And Tom's got a shelf. Can he put 2 type B? So that's going to be 2 times 1,600, which is 3,200, and 4 type C, that's 4 times by 100, which is 400. Add these together, 3,600, that's too heavy for the shelf, so no, he can't put all that on his shelf because the shelf can only support 3,500, and this is greater than 3,500. So we're sharing 5.04 kilos between 16 people, so we just need to divide that by 16. and then that will mean that each person will get 0.315 kilos per person. So B, C, D and E are exactly the same type of question, except instead of dividing by 16, we're dividing by 18, 20, 21 and 24, and since we're dividing by a bigger number, this should result in the total decreasing as we go through the questions. So we should get 0.28, 0.252, 0.24 and 0.21 kilos per person. Question 12, we're just doing some simple adding, but the problem is we've got a discrepancy with the units, so convert one of them into kilos or one of them into grams. 2 kilos is 2,000 grams, so in total that's 2,400 grams or 2.4 kilos. This is 3,000 grams, so this is 3,600 or 3.6. This is 1,100 grams, so in total that's 1,550 grams, otherwise known as 1.55 kilos. This is 1.55 kilos, and if we add the 0.85, then that will come to 2.4, otherwise known as 2,400 grams. This amount here is 0.641 kilos. If I add that together, then that's 1.23 kilos or 1,230 grams. This is 110 grams, so 110 plus 24 is 134 grams or 0.134 kilos. This is 25 grams, so in total that is 36 grams or 0.036 kilos. This is 844 grams, so if I add that to the 1623, I will get 2,467 grams or 2.467 kilos. This is 11.225 kilos, so if I add these two amounts together, that will give me 34.679 kilos or 34,679 grams, and this is 960 grams, so if I add 151, then that will give me 1111 grams or 1.111 kilos. So Clementine wants to buy 1.5 kilos and they're sold in these weights. Why shouldn't she buy bag C? Well, bag C is 12.5 kilos, so that is a ridiculous amount of potatoes if she only needs 1.5 kilos. So she shouldn't buy bag C because bag C is far too heavy. Simple as that. Okay, all the ways she can buy exactly 1.5 kilos. So, well, E won't factor into it at all. So she can have bag A plus 1A plus 1B. And it's quite a tricky question because there's quite a few options here. She could buy B 3 times. She could buy D 6 times. She could buy 1B and 4 times D. She could buy 2 times B plus 2 times D. So we're just thinking of multiples of the multiples of 250 and 500. She could also buy bag A plus 2 Ds, and I think that's all the options there, but there are quite a few options. It's quite an unusual question, that one. Clementine buys bag E, so that's the 2 kilos. So she needs 1.5 kilos. She's bought 2, so 2 take away 1.5 is 0.5 kilos that she doesn't need, and 0.5 kilos, multiply that by 1,000 is 500 grams. So in question 14a, Elsie intends to send 25 package A's, so that is 25 multiplied by 50, which is 1,250. Is that okay for a small truck? Yeah, it's okay because the small truck can take 2,000, so no, it's not too heavy. So she's putting 34 package A's, so 34 multiplied by 50, that is 1,700. The small truck has a capacity of 2,000, so there's 300 left over. And how many package E's will that come to? Package E is 4,000 grams, which is 4 kilos. So how many 4 kilos will make 300 kilos, so that's 300 divided by 4, so that means 75 packages. Package A and package B. Now be careful because this is kilos, this is grams. So 50 kilos is 50,000 grams, and we're comparing that to 500. So what do I do to 500 to turn it into 50,000? Well, 50,000 is 500 but with 2 extra zeros, so that means it's been multiplied by 100, so it's 100 times heavier. Elsie says that she can fit 150,000 package C's onto a large truck, so 150,000 multiplied by 50 grams, that's going to result in a very big number, so I'm just going to divide the total by 1,000 to turn it into kilos, so we get 7,500 kilos. The large truck has a capacity of, it's 10,000, so I was looking at the wrong figure there, that's for medium, 10,000, so yes, she can easily fit that number of package C's because it's 2,500 under the maximum capacity, so yes, she is correct.